Hello, everybody. Wow. Oh, it's summer. Okay, so the plan today is to meet up with my plein air sketching group, and we're going somewhere a little bit different. Usually we meet somewhere on the coast or somewhere that's just all nature. I've got my drawing kit, I've got my sketchbook. I think I'm ready to go. Let's do this. In the heart of Marty County lives a group of monks at the only remaining medieval monastery in Britain. The foundations of this structure have been standing for almost 800 years, during which Scotland has experienced an incredibly turbulent history. Not only was Catholicism illegal in Scotland for a time, but buildings of importance throughout Scotland have been attacked and burned and rebuilt over the centuries. As I was walking among the echoey stone rooms, I was filled with such a sense of wonder and loss and peace. And as a non-religious but very empathic person, I can appreciate the beauty and tranquility of a place like this. When I sit down to draw a place like this, that can be quite overwhelming at first glance. Usually I like to start with just one small detail. Maybe it's an archway, a window, some kind of stonework, just something that grabs my attention and lets me warm up with a bit more of a manageable sketch. And not only is this a good way to warm up my hand-eye coordination, but it also lets me just ease into the place. And I try to be very aware of my surroundings. In this case, it was set in this beautiful countryside, and it was so quiet and peaceful, except for the occasional tourist or passerby. My sketching group was pretty small this day, just a few of us, and we could chat whenever we felt like it, but we were kind of spread out and just really taking in the beauty of this building. I actually didn't plan on recording anything here. I didn't even know what to expect. It was my first time there. But as soon as I started walking around and experiencing it, I knew I had to share it at least a little bit. So I'm actually holding my phone in my left hand while I draw, just kind of anchoring my arm to my side with my elbow. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. I wish I had a tripod or like a nice camera to record it all, but I just wanted to be able to share it with you all. Something I like to do after visiting a place like this is go online and research the history. And in this case, there was a lot of information and signs that explained some of the history of the Abbey, but there's a lot more on the website and online. So it's something that I do quite often because a lot of times when I'm out exploring, I'll stumble upon a castle or some kind of really cool standing stone circle, something ancient. And I'm fascinated, so I have to go home and research it. I think I mentioned recently that I want to get better at drawing and painting buildings. It's one reason I took Ian Stewart's workshop recently, and I learned so much, but I'm also well aware of the fact that you have to put in the hours of practice. To me, one of the most challenging aspects of drawing architecture is the symmetry. So it feels like half the time I'm just training myself to be able to draw something the same on the left side and the right side, especially when it's a series of arched windows like this. One of my big goals is to actually visit Italy, and I want to travel to some of the main cities and coastal areas with my sketchbook. And I don't know why, but I'm so intimidated by that idea. So, in a way, a lot of what I do is like training myself for that experience. And I don't know if I'll ever feel ready. So, eventually, I just got to do it. So yeah, I'm trying to balance my nature, wild place paintings with buildings and architecture and things like that to really hone those skills. Is there a place in the world that you just know you have to visit before you die? Like something, somewhere that calls to you so deeply, something you know you gotta do? That's like, I don't know why Italy has always been that place for me. I mean, Scotland was as well, but now I live here. And it's not that I'm always looking for the next greatest thing, but even before I came to Scotland, Italy was one of those places. So now that I'm in Scotland and can go to all these amazing places all the time, Italy is in the back of my mind still. I know it's just such a different culture and there's different types of buildings, and I think it's just one of those things that I've always needed to do and I will do eventually. Not sure how or when, but I'll make it happen. But I would love to know, what is your place? Because I bet there's places out there I've never even heard of. And as soon as you tell me, I'm going to add it to my list. Maybe I shouldn't be asking this question though. There's something so wonderful about going out with a sketchbook and a single drawing utensil. And usually I do that with a pen because then there's no possible way I can erase. And when I'm in the mindset where I know I can erase, I tend to fuss with the details too much and things can get a little bit stiff. Whereas if I'm just using a pen or a marker, I have to live with every mark, and it helps me just move on from each mark and just, I guess, be more confident in my decisions because it's not like I can change it. But with pencil, one of the fun things is that I can vary the thickness of the line so quickly and easily. And you can also do shading very easily. But I was trying to stick with more of a line drawing so I could really focus on the details instead of values. I think values are very important, especially when you're painting. But yeah, in this case, I was focused more on the architectural details, I guess. However, I did take this home and do a painting of it for my patrons. I'll pop that up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. And if you want to learn how I did that, there is a link in the description. But when you're out with just a sketchbook and a pencil, it's a very freeing mindset because You can move quickly, you can change positions or change angles and find different things and do quick sketches and move on. It's not like you're stuck there with all your supplies out and you have to like pack up and then move. Speaking of supplies, I love our little plein air meetup group because a lot of times someone else will bring something I've never seen before, or maybe it's a supply that I've always wanted to try but never bought, and I get to see what it's like in person. So that's one of the most fun aspects. And I also see a lot of different sketchbooks and papers. Not to mention that we all look at things so differently, and it's really fun to see everybody's take on the same thing.
And that was my long one. I don't know if these are going to show up.
I love seeing all the variety.
Yes, exactly.
Usually at the end of our meetup, we come together and see what we've all done. We're trying to get better at taking photos of our results together, but it's just, I always forget. I'm getting more and more back into using a graphite pencil like this rather than a mechanical pencil. Like for the majority of my time learning how to draw and paint, I stuck with a mechanical pencil, usually a blue one because I like blue. But you don't need a sharpener and it's just easy to go. It's like super low maintenance, low effort. But lately I'm just getting reminded why graphite pencils are wonderful because of the fact that you can vary the line thickness so easily. And especially when you sharpen it with like a knife and you can change the width or dimensions of the actual graphite point, it's really fun. I'm using the Blackwing Pearl because it was suggested to me by a few people during the Ian Stewart workshop, and absolutely loving it. Luckily, Ruth, one of the other attendees of the group, had some fixative spray, so I could spray the sketchbook and not worry about everything getting all smudged. Since we're going into autumn now, I am going to be painting a lot. So it's really good that I take time to actually work on my drawing skills because I don't want to neglect those. Alright, I'm going to wrap up the video now. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got inspired either by the views or the drawing. And I wish you a wonderful beginning to autumn if you live in a place that has autumn. And I'll see you all again soon. Take care.